Melton orientation, day 2, and day 3. So we'll start off with day 2, obviously, Tuesday. Woke up Tuesday morning, down into the van and over to the medical facility to do a drug test and a physical. It don't actually take that long. It's just the fact that there's 40 some people, so it takes a while to go through that. I think I was done, I got there at 6:45, 7 o'clock. I think mine was done around, I'm gonna say 9, and then we had to wait in the van for it to get loaded. I don't think I got back to the terminal or back to the orientation building till, it was after 10:30, something like that. So that was in the morning, pretty basic stuff. Anyone who's got a CDLs went through a physical, went through a drug test, pretty basic stuff. The whole thing didn't take very long, 20 minutes maybe. It's just the fact that there's 40 some people in there is what makes it so long. So that took us till lunchtime. After lunch, they went out and gave us some demonstrations on how to use a a load bar. For the guys that don't know how to use it, everybody had to go through and show that they could use it. And they use snap binders. I don't care for, actually they're not snap binders, they call them safety binders. I'm not exactly sure the difference between a snap binder and a safety binder. They don't really go into detail and tell me that, but they call them safety binders. Basically, I don't know, they don't use ratchet binders. I guess they used to, they don't anymore, whatever. So that was in the afternoon. We went and did that demonstration, and then what did we do after that? Something to do with loads. I think we went around. Oh, they went around and showed us some stuff. I shot some video. I don't know if I might upload it on a different video. I'm not going to upload it on this video because this video is probably going to be about 8 minutes longer than it needs to be. So I'm going to try to keep this thing short, but they're going to end up being 7-8 minutes. So I got a couple videos of the loads that we have to do inside the building. There's loads outside the building, and then they showed us a couple, besides the ratchet binder, how to use the snap binders and stuff, the safety binders, whatever, how to use that, how to use the load bar. Then it was how they roll their strap, or not roll, how they insert their straps into the twisty thing. I don't know what they're called. Former flatbedder can't even tell you what they're called. The binders or whatever, not the binders. I don't know, the twisty things that you put that you put the strap into. It's slipping my mind right now what they're called. Someone in the comment section will tell me how much of a dumbass I am for not remembering what they're called. The winches. Here you go, the winches. Anyways, showed us how to put the straps into the winches, and that was. Then we went back in. We didn't do any load securement yesterday. It was just like looking at the loads and doing the they took us out and went over loads. The one guy, they split us into groups and took us out, and we went over each load. They told us how they had to be strapped down, how the chains had to be, stuff like that. That's what we did also in the afternoon. So we didn't actually do any load yesterday. It was just going over basically the basics of load securement, and that was the day yesterday. So then we wake up today, and we are doing load securement today. Oh, we also did an agility test yesterday too. Basically, stand on one foot for 30 seconds, stand on another foot for 30 seconds, and what was the other thing? Oh, pick up a tarp, 90-pound tarp. It didn't feel like 90 pounds, but maybe. Pick up a 90-pound tarp from the ground and set it on the back of a trailer. Yep. I couldn't do it. No, I'm joking. It didn't feel like 90 pounds. I grabbed that thing and threw it up. It felt like about 40 or 50 pounds. But they said it was 90. And I think everybody done that pretty good. There's 3 girls in the class. There's 3 girls in the class, and all 3 of them, the one's really like shorter, and like, she might weigh 120 pounds, and she threw it up there no problem. Well, I don't know about no problem. She got it up there. There's 3 girls in the class. They all did everything so far. They're still here. So that was yesterday. Then we can move on to today, Wednesday, day 3. Came in, same time, got there at 6 in the morning, or 7. I was at the orientation at about 6:15, but I was on the first van. The van has to get back and forth 2 or 3 times, so till everybody gets there at 7 o'clock, but I was there pretty early. I made coffee. They did the road test. They broke us up into groups of 5, and they sent 2 groups. They do road tests in the morning, and then I did my road test in the afternoon. They sent 2 groups to do road tests in the afternoon, and then the final 2 groups will do their road test Thursday morning, tomorrow morning, or whatever. So we was out in the yard this morning, and it was raining, pouring rain sideways, and we was out there working on loads. Yeah, it was sunny in the afternoon. When we was out there, we was soaked. I brought a rain jacket, or a rain jacket. Rain jacket. It's like a winter coat. It's a thick. It's not like a poncho thing. It's an actual jacket, but it's a rain jacket. So I had that on, so that kind of helped a little bit. But it was warm out. It was like 60 degrees. So it was like one of them things where it's raining, but it's warm, so you're sweating still, but you don't want to take off your jacket, because I had a jacket and a sweatshirt on, because you'll get soaked. So you're kind of like, I guess you're just going to sweat it out. You're getting wet either way. So we went out and did, the first load we did was the flat steel load. Get an X chain on the front, did a header board on the front, I think that's what they call them, where you stack the 3 boards, rock the chain around it. I probably got all these terminologies wrong of everything, and you gotta be like, that ain't right. And I used to do this stuff. Like, I should know what this stuff's called, but it was like another lifetime ago. It was 13 years ago, man. I've done this shit for 13 years, so it's been a while. So anyways, me and the one guy worked on the X chain. He's a new guy. He's never even, he's straight out of school and everything. So I worked with him a little bit, and then there's 4 of us. They put us in groups of, I think there's groups of 5, but one got where he was at when we did the flat steel. He wasn't there. So we did the flat steel, binded it down. It's super easy, real easy. If anyone's ever ran flat steel, you know it's super easy. X chain in the front, and the chain every 5 feet. I don't think the DOT wants every 5 feet. I don't know. I didn't look that up. I don't know what the DOT regulation is for flat steel, but they want a chain every 4 feet. So we put 2 X's, or an X on the front, and then every 4 feet back across the rest of the load. And they call it, they didn't put an X on the back, they called it a teardrop on the back, where the chain kind of goes straight across. So this is the steel, goes straight across, and then kind of wraps back up around on each side. I don't know. I always just put a full X on the back, or a half of an X. Just put one chain across the back. It's not going, half an X was all I ever did with, and I ever ran flat steel. That was, in my mind, that was good enough, because it's not going backwards. Put an X on the front, half an X on the back, and then 5 or 6 chains, depending on the weight and how long it is. I might have used all 10 chains. But anyways, that was that one. That load was super easy. I thought it was, I've done all this stuff before, so I know most of it. Obviously, I'm not trying to be a smart aleck, like I know it all. Like, obviously, I'm going to come out there, and I'm going to forget stuff. You know what I mean? So that's fine. I'm here to learn. That's what I told them. I'm not out there trying to be like, oh, I know everything. Bull crap, you know what I mean? I don't know everything. But it's not like whether you know everything, it's how they do it. They got different ways of doing it than the companies I drove for. You know what I mean? So you got to learn the way they want it done. So just because, and I'll get into that here in a minute, just because it's a certain way, whatever. But anyways, that was that. And we're already 9 minutes in. We even talked about the road test. Oh my word. It's going to be a long video. It's too long. So let's talk about the road test. That was this one. We did one load this morning. We went to another load. I'll have to talk about it in another video, because I ain't got time to get it and all that. Like I said, we're 9 minutes in, and I want to talk about the road test. So after lunch, we went on a road test. Basically, the 5 people within my group, we went together. And the road test, everybody keeps saying, oh, it's easy, oh, it's easy. And it is pretty easy, just pay attention. The one that gave us the road test was pretty clear on the directions. Drive, we're going to go down, like, if you're on roads that don't have street signs, he's going to say, at this next red light, you want to turn left. At this next light, at this stop sign, turn right. At this red light, go straight through. You know what I mean? If you get on the interstate, he's like, I pulled up on, I think I was going 44 West, and he's like, you need to get off at 129th Street. Okay, so I drove up like maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles. There's the exit for 129th Street, and you get off the exit. I got down the exit, and he's like, at the end of the exit, you're going to go right. Okay? And then as soon as I go right, he's like, stay in the right lane, we're going to the truck stop. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Stayed in the right lane, go up to the truck stop, and he said, go in the truck entrance, and then he gives you directions how to get through the truck where he wants you to go. Park the truck and switch drivers. I did most of it is back roads. Um, it's 20-25 minutes of driving, and probably 15 to 18 minutes of that's back roads, and 4 or 5 minutes on the interstate. Jump up on the interstate, drive the interstate 2-3 exits. If mine was one exit. Well, it was actually two. The road 44 actually splits, so 3 lanes go left and 2 lanes go right, and it was the next exit. So technically it was 2 exits, but it was like a mile and a half on the interstate, and then the rest of it was all like what would they call back roads, single lane roads, whatever. Some double lane roads. I think the first road I started on was a double lane road, you know. And you went through a couple red lights. I went through like 5 or 6 red lights, a couple stop signs. Jumped up on the interstate, ran down the interstate. A mile and a half, got off an exit. There was a wreck at the exit. You would have guessed that. I come down off the exit, and there's 2 cars rented each other, blocking the exit. So I had to swing super wide, out around, swing way out around, and then come back in to get in the right lane to go up to the truck stop. Pretty simple stuff. I was anxious about it. I was a little nervous because I don't know. You don't know. I've never drove around Tulsa before. I don't know because they were telling us they have like they've got left-hand exits. So you're driving on a 4-lane road in the right lane or the next lane over, and there's a left exit in a mile and a half. Now you got to get over 2 or 3 lanes, So I don't know how they're going to if they're not going to tell you, hey, it's a left-hand exit, you might want to get over, or if it's like, hey, you'll figure it out when you get there. But I didn't have to deal with any left-hand exits. So that was the only thing I was worried about. When we got on the back roads, I wasn't worried. The only thing I was worried about was the red lights. Like, I was trying to time red lights. So I'm coming up to a light that's green. It's been green for a while. And I'm slowing down, but still going, like slowing down from like 55, the speed limit, to like 45. That way, when I get close enough, if it starts to change, I can slow down and stop, because I don't want to run a red light because that's an automatic fail. So I'm trying to time these red lights. So I see them green, 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 and I slow down. And once I get to a certain point, at that point, I got to go. So then I just open it back up and head down the road. At that point, you're close enough to where you're not going to stop anyway, so you got to get through it. And maybe that's not the right way to do it. I don't know, but that's how I was doing it. A lot of the red lights, you'd see them way off and they were green, and by the time you got there, they'd start turning yellow. So that wasn't a problem. There's only like 2 that actually stayed green for a while. And I was getting closer, and they're still green, and they're like, they're going to turn. And so I'm slowing down a little bit, but not like I'm not going down to 25. I'm dropping like 55 to 45, just slowing down a little bit, just so if something happens, and it never turned, it stayed green. As I got closer, there was no cars in the other way and the other lanes coming in, so I kind of got closer, and it's probably not going to turn if there's no cars there. So I just opened it back up and got through the red light. But seriously, it's not hard at all. If you're worried about the road test, if you understand English and you can read a road sign, it's pretty basic stuff. It really is. Not hard at all. I made it out in my head beforehand to be probably a lot harder than it needed to be, and I did fine. That's it. That's day 2 and day 3 Melton orientation, drug test, and physical. And then like that little agility test they do, an introduction, I'll call it introduction to load securement. And then today, load securement and road test. Tomorrow is going to be load securement all day, I believe. Tomorrow is Thursday. We got load securement all day. There's 8 or 9 loads out there that need to be. We got 1 done. We got 1 done before lunch. We got like 7 loads to do, 6 or 7 loads to do tomorrow. So that'll be day 4 and day 5. That video I'll shoot on day 5 or after day 5 or sometime at that point, and it'll upload then. But that's it. Day 2, day 3, Melton orientation. We're getting ready to do some basic load securement, and we will go from there. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for video number 3 of orientation, or it's like 16 or 17 in the line of videos that I've put out so far. And this video is 14 and a half minutes. And it probably about 13 and a half minutes. No, not really. Probably about 8 minutes longer than it needed to be. But anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for, like I said, day 4 and day 5, and I will see you then.